Tonight at 6, Wisconsinites will need to stay at home until the end of May. That extension coming from the governor today.
Plus, Duluth hospitals respond to the governor's request for COVID-19 testing and their thoughts on reopening the economy too soon.
And with tourism season upon us, we're hearing from businesses who rely on the Boundary Waters for a big chunk of their earnings, how they'll handle the wilderness being closed.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Vaki.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Wisconsin residents are being asked to stay at home for another month and a half.
That will impact education as well, as students across the state will not go back to the classroom this school year. Today, Governor Tony Evers extended his Safer at Home order to May 26th. It was set to expire next week. He also announced that distance learning will continue for public and private school students through the 2019-2020 school year.
However, Evers did lift some restrictions on certain businesses. Golf courses across the state can now open. Non-essential businesses can perform basic operations, including deliveries, mailings, and curbside pickup. Lawn care and construction can also continue. Evers said he based his decision on science and data. He says that the Safer at Home order is working, but he encouraged people not to let up just yet.
In the first 3 months of Safer at Home, our data shows that we have saved at least 300 lives and perhaps as many as 1,400 lives. We have helped flatten the curve, which has resulted in fewer cases and hospitalizations.
Evers' order says local officials can decide whether or not to keep their parks open. You're also asked not to travel to second homes or cabins. We'll have much more on this extension coming up tonight at 10. Superior School District leaders reacted to the governor's decision to continue distance learning through the rest of the school year. In a statement, Superintendent Amy Starzecki says they will continue their strong at-home learning structure and provide food service to students and families through the regularly scheduled school year. She plans to share more specifics soon.
Meanwhile, Governor Evers is among a group of governors calling on the federal government to send additional aid to states and local governments during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a letter to the president, Evers, along with governors from Michigan and Pennsylvania, asked Trump to urge Congress to send $500 billion in budget aid. Evers says Wisconsin is facing a $2 billion loss in revenue as the unemployment rate skyrockets. This comes as the governor is facing pressure to reopen the state. A rally is planned in Madison next week.
7 Midwest governors, including the 3 in our region, are working together to decide when to reopen the economy. The governors of Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky announced the coalition today. In a statement, they said the economies of Midwest states are reliant on each other. They plan to use a fact-based, data-driven approach, including looking at infection rates and hospital capacity. The statement says reopening the economy in phases will be most effective if the region works together. States on the east and west coasts have formed similar coalitions.
Governor Tim Walz says Minnesota needs to be testing 5,000 patients a day for COVID-19 before he thinks it would be safe to reopen the state's economy. Leaders from both of Duluth's hospitals say the impact of reopening the economy too soon could lead to an even bigger problem. Doctors from Essentia and St. Luke's say they've started testing more groups of people, but they're limited by the supply of tests, adding it's not just about the ability to test patients.
As we get more testing capacity, as we can identify the individuals who really need to be kept away from other folks, I think we may be able to do targeted openings of the economy.
Officials say right now Minnesota has the lowest infection rate in the country. Local doctors say that's partly because of Minnesota's social distancing efforts. Health experts continue to say that a surge could still arrive. As far as when it's expected to arrive here in the Northland, an infectious disease specialist at St. Luke says there are many models out there. He referenced one that points to late June or July, but he said that could change daily or even hourly.
Meanwhile, leaders from both hospitals refuse to put an exact number on how many employees they've laid off or put on administrative leave during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement after today's press conference, Essentia officials said any employees already on administrative leave will have their leave extended another month. Other Essentia employees, including clinical staff, will also be put on leave. Last month, Essentia told us 500 employees were put on leave. They still have not specified exactly what types of jobs that impacts. St. Luke's reps did not share specifics on the terms or length of their layoffs. Leaders from both hospitals said they've seen a big decline in patients with elective surgeries and operations postponed. They say they're preparing for a surge of COVID-19 patients and bringing back employees to help handle that.
Here's a quick look at the number of cases around the area. Michigan now has more than 29,000 cases with nearly 2,100 deaths. Wisconsin has more than 3,800 cases with nearly 200 deaths. And in Minnesota, there is just shy of 2,000 cases with 94 deaths. There are nearly 2.2 million cases worldwide with 550,000 recoveries.
Dave joins us now for a quick look at the weather. Hey there, Dave. Happy Friday Eve to you.
Kristen, you like your Friday Eves. And we're watching weather conditions improve as we get close to Friday day itself here. Let's take a look at what's going on with a map to eye up right now, and it's going to be showing us this morning's low temperatures, which were not as cold as they were yesterday morning. Yesterday morning, remember, Hibbing was at 6. This morning, 17. Watersmeet was at 1. Add 10 to that. Turn it up to 11. A sign that warmer temperatures are coming our way. We fire up the forecast for our Friday, and it shows that the start of the day, at least here in the Twin Ports, closer to the lake, might be daring to be as warm as 21 degrees. Looks like partly cloudy sky on tap for us all day long, thanks to high pressure settling in, and that sunshine coming in should allow the temperature to rise to the occasion. Top out at 48 by supper time tomorrow and into Saturday. Well, I think we'll crack 50 degrees, but the price we pay now looks to be some rain showers. We'll talk about the odds coming up in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. New at 6, many businesses up the North Shore rely on campers headed to the Boundary Waters. Now some are expecting to feel the ripple effect after news that the BWCA will be closed to campers until at least May 4th. CBS 3's Ryan Campo joins us live from Grand Marais, a pit stop for many before they head to that area. What kind of impact are business owners there expecting, Ryan?
Yeah, Tony, I spoke with Mike Prom, owner of Voyager Canoe Outfitters. His business acts as a service guide for people to check out along the BWCA. Now, he says his business it's too soon for his business just to tell how early it is on how big of an impact the closure would have, since the BWCA waters are largely still frozen and most of the visitors come a bit later in the spring and into the summer. But he added that if the BWCA closure continues on much longer than May 4th, it could mean an extreme blow. Prom says they are already seeing fewer nonprofit groups like Boy Scouts and church groups they normally see booking trips around this time. He says also emails and phone calls have also gone silent during this stay-at-home order, but now he's looking at things for people to keep interested in other ways.
You know, we did a big social media campaign of 14 days where we did a contest of what's your favorite food, the next day what's your favorite lure, the next day what's something you need in your repair kit. We want people thinking about it, because Minnesotans outdoors is therapy. That's our drug, and we're going to need that therapy when we're done. Just a matter of when that is.
Prom says 65% of his guests are from the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and 80% are from Minnesota, so he's hoping he'll see a surge in visitors once the state's restrictions are lifted. Now, the Superior National Forest officials announced the BWCA closure yesterday, and again, it's supposed to stay closed until May 4th. No word yet on if that could be extended or taken away any sooner.
Yeah, we'll certainly keep an eye on that one. Ryan Campo for us in Grand Marais tonight. Thanks, Ryan.
If you live in Minnesota, you may soon be able to get alcohol with your takeout order. Legislative leaders in Minnesota have agreed on a plan that will let Minnesota restaurants offer beer and wine to go as they weather this pandemic. The Senate is expected to vote on the bill today, the House on Friday. If passed, restaurants will be able to sell 6 12-ounce cans of beer, seltzer or cider, or a standard-sized bottle of wine. Minnesota's bars and restaurants have been shut down since March 17th.
A new audit says data errors in a state computer system cost Minnesota $76 million in federal funding. The system, known as the Minnesota Eligibility Technology System, is supposed to streamline Medicaid and Minnesota Care enrollment. It was launched 7 years ago and has cost $432 million since then.
Authorities are investigating after an Ashland County man died in a car crash. It happened around 7 o'clock last night, about 20 miles east of Ashland. The Ashland County Sheriff's Office says the car hit a tree. Authorities have identified the victim as a 21-year-old from Odena, Minnesota. 3 people of interest have turned themselves into law enforcement earlier this afternoon. All of those people are juveniles and are the only other people believed to be involved.
A home in Gilbert caught fire this afternoon. The Gilbert Fire Department responded to the house on Dakota Avenue West around 1 o'clock. Nobody was hurt. The main floor of the house appeared to have extensive fire and smoke damage. That's according to the Northland Fire Wire. The state's fire marshal is investigating how it started. Meanwhile, up the North Shore, officials say they still don't know the cause of the fire that destroyed 3 businesses in Grand Marais. The flames started in the back of the Crooked Spoon Cafe on Monday afternoon. They quickly spread to 2 other businesses attached to the cafe. All 3 were destroyed. Nobody was injured. The state fire marshal is also investigating the cause of that fire.
A Duluth man faces criminal fraud charges after filing fake insurance claims. The Minnesota Department of Commerce announced the charges against 33-year-old Joseph Thomas today. He faces 2 counts of insurance fraud. The state says he filed several fraudulent claims for lost wedding rings, receiving payouts totaling $10,000. Commissioner Steve Kelly says this kind of fraud impacts everyone through higher premiums.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, Split Rock Lighthouse is closed until the end of June and a majority of its workforce is laid off. How this will impact the popular tourist attraction.
And Dave will be in with your full forecast right after the break.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Opioids are used primarily to treat pain, though they also can produce a state of euphoria, sometimes resulting in dependency or addiction. Dr. Joe Bianco, a physician at Essentia Health, has witnessed both the benefits and detriments of opioid use.
Opioids are very important in our daily medical practice. They make a big difference on how we treat our patients. The key is using them safely. So if you've been on opioids for a long time, and you find that you need to take more and more, but your pain is getting worse or it's not getting any better, something to think about is reducing the amount of opioids that you're on, because sometimes opioids can cause more pain. The patient can always refuse to use them as well or not wish to have them. And we have other means to take care of pain that we can explore with patients. Addiction is a chronic disease, just like any other disease. And too often we've moralized addiction. And what we're doing right now is encouraging people to see this as a medical condition, just like hypertension or diabetes.
Essentia Health has been a leader regionally in addressing the opioid epidemic. Within the past 5 years, we've seen a 50% decrease in patients started on opioids for chronic pain.
3 of the main ways that Essentia is addressing opioids is by reducing the amount of opioids within the community, treating pain differently, and for our patients who do have opioid use disorder or addiction, we're working on helping them manage their chronic disease. I'm encouraged by the progress that we're seeing in making a healthy difference in our patients' lives.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
This Medical Insight was brought to you by Essentia Health. To learn more about the services we offer, visit essentiahealth.org.
With so many nourishing shades, a color change is easy. Nutrice has 77. From our darkest blacks to our lightest blondes. It nourishes violet colors, plus avocado, olive, and shea. Change a little or a lot. Nutrice, nourished hair, better color. By Garnier, naturally.
In the Army National Guard, family means everything.
Our parents, they were really supportive that all 5 of us would join.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard instills pride that you and your family will share. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about part-time service.
I hope it won't be too inconvenient if we stay with you for a few days.
Stay here. You're so lucky because the Obamas just checked out this morning.
Where's your massage table?
Our kitchen table has a hole in it. She could probably fit her face in there. I see they found the guest quarters.
A new Broke, tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Central on CBS.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
CBS3 Weather is brought to you by Nicolay Law Office.
In my meteorological mind, winter starts the day that the first snow sticks to the ground, and then it ends when both the daytime high and the overnight low get above freezing. And we're not quite there yet, but we're easing our way towards that mark. And Saturday should be a toasty day with high temps probably in the low to even mid-50s. Today, well, we warmed up for the morning lows indeed, but the daytime highs were still a little bit cooler than normal. So on that note, it's time to eye up the almanac, and the top temp today at the Twin Ports Tower up over the hill, 42 degrees. Normal, though, is 50, and it won't be till Saturday when we get towards that. So looks like things are going to be just a little bit cooler than normal, perhaps for one more day, because tomorrow's high temp will be 48, but oh, so close, so close. We can taste spring finally in the air. Right now at the airport in Duluth, it's 40. Could be worse. 27% the relative humidity. That's on the dry side. Northwest wind, it's gusting 15 miles per hour, and our air pressure is high at 1,020 millibars because of the high pressure cell that's been just outside of range for a couple of days, now plopping itself into the area to bring sunshine today and probably tomorrow as well. So our Doppler map for our region at this moment shows we've finally shaken off most of those flurries that have been with us since Monday, and at least for the short term. I think we'll stay on the drier side through tomorrow, thanks to the high pressure cell that indeed has come from the northwest and parked over our region and should continue to do so, bringing sunshine through our Friday. But Saturday looks like it's going to be a different story. That'll be the day that warm front bubbles towards us and sends temperatures up towards the 50-degree mark like I was mentioning. But it's going to be a pretty decent snowstorm, perhaps for Nebraska, southern Iowa, and into Chicago. We on the northern fringes, thanks to the warm front, actually will get rain showers, but it's only a 30% chance. Otherwise, the latter half of the weekend will be almost as warm and perhaps a little bit sunnier. So a mixed bag for the weekend, but still, I think reasonably decent. Tonight in Minnesota, low temps. They will get a little bit brisk from the Vermilion and Mesabi Iron Ranges towards borderland, but 13 to 16 above, we can tolerate it. Low 20s for much of the rest of the Gopher State. And now we go over towards the Badger State and our friends in the Upper Peninsula, where low temps tonight probably will be a little bit warmer than what we see in Minnesota, running about 17 to 22, with a partly cloudy sky for everybody, thanks to the high pressure that we have. For tomorrow, Wisconsin and Michigan, I think we're going to get another partly cloudy sky as well, with high temps running 46 to 49 degrees. Oh, so close to that 50-degree mark of normalcy we're supposed to have this time of year. And for Minnesotans tomorrow, again, the computer has flip-flopped the overnight lows and the daytime highs. Even the North Shore should run at least 45 to 49 degrees tomorrow with a partly cloudy sky. And with the 7-day forecast here, hopefully that's not all discombobulated. Hopefully that shows the general trend of temperatures, which I've been talking about all week, as increasing through Saturday. So 48 Friday to 54 Saturday, 30% chance for the showers on Saturday. Sunnier, but just a hair cooler on Sunday. Then we go back towards 51 on Monday. Tuesday 51 as well, but partly sunny. And then another shower chance for Wednesday. That one looks to be only a 30% shot as well.
Looks like a nice stretch of spring days. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
If you're a resident or business owner in Superior, you may be eligible for financial relief during the COVID-19 pandemic. Mayor Jim Payne announced today a two-part plan that would provide funding for those struggling financially. The first part allows businesses to apply for a micro grant of up to $1,500. They can also apply to have upcoming licensing fees waived. However, businesses that receive assistance through the program will not be able to receive future grants for 1 year. The second part would waive all city utility late fees for the remainder of the year. This would apply to all residents. We'll have more information on our website.
Split Rock Lighthouse is among more than a dozen Minnesota Historical Society sites and museums to remain closed through the end of June. Lighthouse manager Hayes Scriven said today a majority of his staff at the lighthouse have been furloughed with the announcement. They're among 274 MNHS employees across the state to receive the notice. They're just under half of the organization's workforce.
You know, those were just excruciating decisions to make, but because we're closed to the public right now, and many of these positions are public facing, they aren't able to carry out their work. And so that's the decision we made.
In-person events, field trips, and rentals are also canceled.
Meanwhile, prices at the pump continue to fall during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to GasBuddy.com, the average price for gas is $1.62 in Minnesota, $1.25 in Wisconsin, and $1.48 in Michigan. The U.S. average is $1.80.
Ahead in sports, several Hermantown Hawks put pen to paper to play at UMD. Kelly Hinseth has more next.
Get your new John Deere tractor from Duluth Lawn and Sport, the region's largest power sports dealer.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
It's time for the biggest sale of the year. It's time for the Toro Spring Sales Event. It's time to head to your local Toro dealer, where you can save up to $750 on select Toro Z-Masters, up to $600 on select Toro Time Cutters, and up to $500 on select Toro Grandstands and Titan HDs, plus special financing offers on brand new Toro equipment. Toro, count on it. For more info on great deals and financing offers, visit your local Toro dealer.
Let our professional relocation team help make the transition from your old house into a new home as stress-free as possible. Call today for an on-site estimate to identify your family's specific relocation needs. Schedule and manage your job with one of our friendly office staff. The day of the job, our professional and courteous movers will safely and efficiently protect and transport your goods with the aid of new technologies and equipment, but with the same old-fashioned service you know and trust.
Moving is hard. Calling A1 Movers is easy.
The world is changing quickly, and it's important to find calm in the storm. We're all focusing on the things that matter most: family, community, safety. At Northland Lawn Sport and Equipment, we're here to help you get back outside. Take a deep breath. Get the job done right. Have fun. We're here with you, and we've got everything you need to enjoy the outdoors at historically low prices. See Jeff, Frank, and Alex. We'll be here when you need us.
Buying from Hibbing Crisis Center is as easy as browse, click, buy. Just go to our website at hibbingcrisiscenter.net and browse our huge selection of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles from the comfort of your home. Click to explore financing options on your perfect vehicle, get a guaranteed trade-in price with our True Car Trade tool, schedule a test drive, sign the paperwork when you're ready to buy, schedule a time for pickup or delivery of your vehicle, and that's it. Browse, click, buy with Hibbing Crisis Center. We have convenient solutions for all of your vehicle needs.
Our goal is an environment of decency, quality, and mutual respect for all human beings and all other living creatures. It's tremendously encouraging to see all across this country the remarkable interest on an issue, which is not only just an issue of survival, but an issue of how we survive.
A small idea, a world of change. Join us on April 22nd to commemorate 50 years of Earth Day.
In your community, there are businesses ready to help you through this difficult time. From restaurant takeout, appliance repair, roofing, or AC services, BBB connects you with local, trustworthy companies ready to do business safely and ethically. Support your local economy. BBB, building trust in trying times.
Welcome back into sports. It is, believe it or not, that time of year where players put pen to paper to make their college dreams a reality. And in this case, we got a few Hermantown Hawks heading to UMD to play hockey next year. One of those guys is Blake Biondi, as he announced via his Instagram page that he signed his national letter of intent to play for the Bulldogs next season. This means he will forego any gap time playing junior hockey in between high school and college. Biondi had already verbally committed to play at UMD back during his sophomore year. The Hermantown senior forward led the Hawks to the Class A state title game this past year with 10 playoff goals and won the Mr. Hockey Award. He tallied a whopping total of 95 points, 47 of which were goals. And another former Hawk will be joining Biondi with the Bulldogs next year. Darian Goetz also signed his national letter of intent. The defenseman spent the past year playing junior hockey with the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, where he played in 47 USHL games and had spent time with the Minnesota Wilderness before that. He won a state title back with the Hawks in 2017. So we might have to start calling them the Hermantown Bulldogs next year, because Cole Koepke, Jesse Jocks will be juniors, who, for the record, both spent time in the USHL. And with Biondi and Goetz coming in, UMD will feature 4 former Hawks. It could have even been 5, but Dylan Sandberg, of course, signed with the Winnipeg Jets. And another Bulldog recruit signed their NLI last night. Luke Milamach, an 18-year-old center who had spent most of his career playing in Canada, but did play 2 seasons of juniors with the Green Bay Gamblers. The College of St. Scholastica announced their men's soccer schedule for next season. Looking forward to fall sports. Looking at the first few games of the season, Saints open on the road before returning home to host St. Mary's in the home opener and then host Wartburg. They'll travel down to Royal Stadium then to take on the Bethel Royals out of Arden Hills, Minnesota, before they return home. That's my alma mater, so I'm pretty excited. Well, we don't exactly know what the future of sports will look like. And when stadiums get to be filled again and we get to drop the puck and have kickoff, likely there will be no fans just because of the safety protocols that need to be put in place. On a recent team-sponsored interview, Minnesota Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins says he'd be okay playing in empty stadiums in front of no fans and remains hopeful.
I want to play, and whatever adjustments have to be made to do that, then let's make the adjustments. I just don't see a reason to, have excuses for not playing. I think we should try to make it work however we can, because we want to play. And I believe that our country, our culture, in a way, needs us to play. I think it'd be healing, and I think it would be a win for society to see football on TV in the fall. I'm not saying that it's the most important thing in the world. It certainly isn't. But I think if we can do it, let's find a way to do it.
I gotta say I agree with it, because there's only so many replays of Vikings games that I can watch in this time before I feel like we need some fresh content, Yeah,
I think a lot of people are looking forward to a hopeful fall season.
Yeah, I think
Thanks,
so.
Kelly. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers has extended the state's safer at home order by nearly 6 weeks. However, he did relax restrictions on a number of businesses and operations in the state. Tonight at 10, we're digging into what the extension means for you and how it could slow the spread of COVID-19 in Wisconsin.
And due to the coronavirus, countless graduates this year missed out on a hard-earned rite of passage commencement ceremonies. That would be sad, but that's why Natural Light Beer, does anyone call it that? Natty Light is holding a worldwide commencement on Facebook Live for the class of 2020 next month. The event is for all college grads over the age of 21, of course, from all cities, all states, and all schools. It's set for May 14th at 6 p.m. our time. The worldwide commencement will feature a variety of guests, including Stephen A. Smith, Mark Cuban, and Jane Lynch.
Wow, I love that. What a great idea.
I kind of want to graduate again.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 10.
CBS3